Hey everybody, it's Dalton. I'm here with my favorite camera person in the whole wide world and my only camera person in the whole wide world, my wife. We were going to go fishing this morning. I was out there the day before yesterday, and it's just right now California is having a major heat wave in the area that we live. I've lived in California my whole life, and this is one of the worst heat waves I've ever seen. So we were going to head out tomorrow. Friday was, I caught fish, but it was just brutal as far as the weather. And then we were going to head out there today, and I don't know, it's going to be 108, 110. It's going to be humid, and I can deal with heat, but being a California boy, humidity is something that I just don't do very well with. We decided to stay home. What I want to talk to you about is before you go bass fishing, always be ready. Have a starting lineup, and I'll go over that in a sec. My wife's going to follow me, and I'll kind of show you my week, what I do in between fishing trips. I take stuff out. I've always got things going out here, switching out baits, changing some of the ways I do things. I've always got stuff laying around, but believe it or not, before I go fishing, all of this gets put away, and it fits just fine. Now, if you watch my video from, I don't know, maybe 3 weeks ago or whatever, my Lowrance unit went out, and I needed to get a new unit, so I got this Humminbird. It's a Helix 7. It's got down imaging. And one of the things I like about this Humminbird is that it came with a Navionics Plus card, so I have the mapping system, and it's a really cool mapping system. And I'm still working with it, but I've got this thing set pretty good. So let's talk about getting ready before you go fishing. So here's what I do. I get a pretty good idea of what's going on at the lake based on the last time I was out there. Weather conditions, and of course seasonal pattern. Right now it's summer, so the shad are running like crazy. My wife and I, we go out there and we just see shad everywhere. There's just literally thousands of little bait fish, and all through the day, it's not just in the mornings, but all through the day, these bass will be feeding and chasing these bait fish. So what winds up happening is I'm on my trolling motor, I'm chasing bait fish, they're chasing bait fish, and that's how we're catching them. So there's a number of things I do. First of all, my plastic options. I got a Strike King rodent. I'm going to show you in a second what I do with this. This is a Missile Shockwave swim bait, and this is a Yamamoto Senko. So let's go over to the table here, which again is always a work in progress. I had this all cleaned up, guys. I had it all cleaned up. Had to go looking for stuff, digging around. I got new boxes to pack a lot of stuff away. So as you can see, I got a lot of stuff, and I've always got work to do out here. But these 6 rods right here, and these are the 6 rods that I generally take out to the lake with me. This is what I call my starting lineup. Before I even get to the lake, I've always got these set up with what I think is going to work. Now, if they don't work, I'll retie. But whatever I think is going to work, I've got these things set up. So let's kind of go over some of the shad pattern type baits. This right here is made by Nichols, and it is a, I'll let you know here in a second. Well, I guess I'm not going to get it untangled. But this right here is a Nichols Flutter Spoon. And let me get this thing untangled so I can show you. I don't know if you guys deal with this stuff when you're fishing, but I deal with it all the time. So stand by. Okay, I'm back. Had this thing all tangled up. I don't know what I did. I don't know about you guys, but have you ever been out fishing and your line just does things on your rod, and you pick it up and you're like, how did that happen? How did that get there and that get tied there? And I hope it's not just me. But anyway, this is a Nichols Flutter Spoon. It's a 1/2 ounce. The reason I'm going to use this is one of the things that I've picked up on out there is I've got these big shad balls, and these spotted bass get underneath those shad balls. Okay, they'll come through, they'll feed on them, but they're also going to, the ones that are injured, they're going to feed on the ones that are fluttering down, and thus that's what your flutter spoon is for. This thing just kind of flutters down in the water. I'm using 15-pound test fluorocarbon because I want it to flutter really, really slow. And I haven't used this out there at all this year, so when I get back out there in a few days, this is the bait I'm going to use. Now coming over to my top water option. I've got a Strike King, just regular popper. Now what I do with my poppers a lot of times is I'll also walk them. So if you'll see that little ring right there, I put a ring on there and I tie it on, and that way it helps me to walk that bait. And then I'm using 40-pound test braid, and I take about a foot of monofilament line, 14-pound test on this one. I tie a uni to uni knot, and what happens is that when I'm walking this bait, it doesn't get tangled up in the braid, because the little trouble hooks when you're walking a bait, they all get tangled up. So this is my top water option for a few days. As far as kind of like a chuck and wind, I'm going to use a Strike King Red Eye Shad, and this is the 1/2 ounce. I'm noticing that I'm also getting a lot of subsurface bites, so I can rip this through the top of the bait, and I'm going to get some that way. And the thing about the spotted bass, I can never go wrong with chartreuse. It's just like smallmouth bass. You can never go wrong with chartreuse. Throwing it on 12-pound test fluorocarbon, and I'm going to rip this thing right through the bait. And then another shad option, I've got my spinning rod here, and this is that Missile Shockwave. I've got it on a 1/4 ounce little ball head jig. It's a 10-pound test fluorocarbon, and this is going to be my swim bait option when I just want to swim it around in areas where there's not as much shad, but I can see that there's some fish on the graph, and I can probably get them with this. Now, the other thing about this lake, this time of the year in the summer, I haven't run across it as much, but I still think it's going on out there, and that's the crawdads. I tend to find them on ledges, and I'm going to spend some time right now this time of the year going out there and trying to catch those bass that are feeding on crawdads, because I wind up catching my biggest spotted bass out there. The lake record at my lake for spotted bass is about 5.2, something like that. I've caught 2 5-pounders, I've caught some 4-pounders, and a lot of times it's because they're feeding on crawdads. In fact, I'll show you a couple of videos real quick. I was doing some tube fishing over the summer. I found a ledge and caught some really nice spotted bass feeding on crawdads. Give me a good fight here. He's a nice one. Oh yeah. Heck yeah, grab that dude, grab him. Grab him quick. Oh baby, thank you. Oh yeah. Woohoo! Look at that chunk. Holy cow. My goodness. Here. Wow. Tell you what. Woo! Let's weigh this one. Look at that chunk. Big old mouth. Huge belly. Gotta try to wear him out. Oh, I got him. Whew. Man, that's a nice bass right there. Look at the size of that guy. Oh, another nice one. Found an area here where some bigger fish are. Oh yeah. I had to let him wear himself out. Oh, now that's what I'm talking about. Okay, so I got 2 options that I'm going to try for this crawdad bite. I talked about the Strike King rodent. What I have right here is a football head. This is called a wobble head, okay? I've got it on 15-pound test fluorocarbon, a 3/0 extra wide gap hook. Now this particular wobble head is made by Big Bite Baits, but I'm going to be ordering some tungsten ones as well because it helps you to feel the bottom a little better. And I've got it Texas rigged. And what I'm going to do with this is going to be a fast moving bait. This is a search bait. I am looking for these bass on those ledges or even the flats. So when I cast this thing out, I'm just keeping it on the bottom, that wobble head. If it hits a little rock or some small rocks, it'll bounce. It'll make all kinds of erratic movement, and I'm looking for some strikes. Now, I don't always get them hooked with this. Sometimes they short strike me, so I got a backup plan if they do. So if I'm getting bites and I'm not quite able to get them hooked, this is when I like to throw a Wacky Rig Senko, okay? And what I do with this, you can see that I've got a small hook, I've got the ring. Well, what I do is get tangled up again. But what I do is I take an 1/8 ounce little bullet weight, it's a tungsten, I don't peg it, and I just allow it to bring that bait down slowly in the area where I'm missing those strikes. So this is the kind of stuff that I do. I think about my starting lineup, what I think I'm gonna, is gonna get me the best bites out there, and that's pretty much it. So we wanted to go fishing today. It didn't work out. Dalton doesn't do well with that kind of heat, and so Dalton's gonna stay home. But yeah, that's what's going on. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. Hopefully I'll have some good reports in this starting lineup, and I can actually get you out there on the water and show you how I do this stuff. Have a great day, everybody. I'll talk to you next time.